So let's see what we got. Yeah, so we're going to be discussing the topics of masculinity, hypergamy, male and female interactions, dating, you know, amongst other things. You know, whatever we flow into. And then, of course, you know, we'll take some questions and comments from you all, get your input. You know, so yeah, so in a few minutes I'll be asking Baba Libre some questions about the topics that I just mentioned. But first, I'll have him introduce himself. You know, for the people who don't follow Libre, who may be following me and are not familiar with Libre, he's going to introduce himself to you, tell him some things about himself, you know, what he's into, and then he'll tell you about what qualifies him to talk about these topics that I just mentioned. So Libre, tell the people a little bit about yourself, you know, who you are, what you do, all of that.
Hey, peace and blessings. Good evening, everyone. I'm Baruti Libre, a.k.a. Libre Kofele, but you can call me Libre for short. You see what I mean? You know, and the thing about it is that, you know, with me, I'm a full-time real estate broker. I'm a freelance clothing designer. As you can see, I have the apparel brand, Libre brand, and that's the page that I utilize as far as on Instagram goes to syndicate information, to share some of my products and everything else. And the thing about it is that with me, I'm also a writer. I write various articles on different topics, mainly focused on economics and politics, specifically microeconomics and politics, comparative politics, that is, about the nuances of what goes on in the world, how governments are structured and things of that nature. But one of the topics that I've been focused on lately is studying male and female nature as it relates to dating. Joy, what up? What up, stranger? Holla at me. But anyway, you know, like I've mainly been focused on studying, you know, male and female nature, hypergamy, gynocentrism, and things of that nature, coupled with, you know, a lot of my studies in politics, economics, and also everything else. You see what I mean? So the thing about it is that, you know, that's what I'm into right here. And shout out to Nick as well. And what up, Joy? I see you doing very big things. Keep up the excellence for what you're doing. Salute. You know. All right, what up, Nick?
All right, so you mentioned, so last thing you mentioned, so some people who know you, some people who don't know you, they might want to know what makes you qualified to talk about these topics, you know, as far as male and female nature, dating, and things, you know, things related to that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What makes you qualified to talk about those topics is because, you know, I'm outside. I interact with various folks, and I've had the opportunities to go to different parts of the world. You see what I mean? Coupled with my politics and my economics as well, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of dating. And also with me, I have the tendency to study, you know, to study the nuances of different people, the intricacies of different people. You get what I'm saying? And also from a lot of my studies, I've noticed a lot of correlations, and also I noticed a lot of similarities as well, and also a lot of differences, because us humans are like 98 to 99% related anyway, genetically or biologically speaking, meaning that as different as we may think we are, you know, we have a lot of correlations. That's why we could go in different parts of the world and see someone that may look like us, or we may go to different parts of the states or different parts of the world, like I said before, and may find somebody that remind us of someone that we know, whether it's family, friends, or whomever. You see what I'm saying? So with a lot of my experiences with human interactions in general, whether it's platonic, whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic, or whether it's anything like that, that's what gives me the qualifications to talk about things of this nature. So a lot of it is common sense, a lot of it is experiential, and a lot of it is scholastic too. Much respect, Joy. Salute.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so as we're discussing these topics, you know, you're going to cover a variety of fields, you know, such as psychology, biology, sociology, history, economics, you know, all these things mixed with a little bit of shit talk too.
Yeah, you know, I does that. Zach, what up, bro? Thanks for joining the live. Yeah, I does that.
It's going to be really interesting. So yeah, let's jump right into this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let me first start off by asking you, why do we even know? Why do we need to know about all of this? Why do we even need to know about male and female nature? Or why is that important?
The reason why we need to know about male and female nature is because this is the thing. What's underrated and what a lot of people don't understand is that the most important information that one should have in life is the knowledge itself. And with having the knowledge itself, that's where you have an understanding of your role in the world, what purpose you fulfill in the world, and also what responsibilities and what contributions you have in the world. You see what I mean? And the thing about it is that with us humans, we're not isolated. Humans are innately, naturally, and biologically social beings. And part of sociology is interactions with the opposite race, or with the race, or the same race with some folks, based on one's romantic inclination. I'm not here to judge that, based on this commentary that we have going on here. So the thing about it is that if we're going to play a positive role or an enjoyable role in someone else's life, then we need to understand the person that we're dealing with. So it's about taking not thinking about yourself, but thinking from the other person's perspective. They're thinking about what they want, thinking about what they like, thinking about what they fear, thinking about what they dislike. And then from there, having an understanding of what they want and also having an understanding of what you want. And if there's a synchronicity or a complementarity of wants, then there may be something. And if there isn't, then it's time to move on. So the thing about it is that a lot of guys think that females should think like guys, and a lot of females think that guys should think like females. When males and females are totally different people, totally different individuals, totally different genders, with different ways of processing information, different ways of interpreting what a relationship is, different ways of interpreting what a friendship is, and also have different personality traits for means of survival based on 250,000 years of evolution. I didn't make the rules. It's just based on my observations. I don't mind, I'm going to light this mild up.
Hey, do your thing. Do whatever you got to do to get loose and get in your zone. Yeah. So we're gonna, I have a feeling you're gonna repeat that a little bit. That you don't make the rules. This is just the way it is. So,
yeah, exactly. It's thousands of years of evolution. You see what I mean? What up, Rasta?
Yeah.
Thousands of years of evolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's start off by talking about some of the key characteristics of male and female nature. So what are some of the key overarching characteristics about male and female nature?
Well, this is the thing about it. Like, based on thousands of years of evolution, right? The purpose of the male is to hunt. The purpose of the male is to protect his resources, his belongings, his relatives. Anything that he loves, anything that he has compassion for, or people that depend on him. You see what I mean? As far as the female is the nurturer. The female is there to aid the male, which is the provider. And I'm talking pre-Neolithic revolution. I'm talking about, during the early years of humans, interacting with one another. You see what I mean? It would be the humans to hunt, meaning that if the man doesn't go out to hunt, if the man doesn't go out to seek what he needs and what he wants for himself and also his family and also for his cadres, meaning the comrades that may belong to his tribe or his band or his organization, his many organization within a specific geographical location, then he doesn't survive. Then his folks don't survive. So they depend on that man. While the woman is the nurturer, and the woman seeks protection and security from that man, going back to 250,000 years of evolution. You get what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that, since we have sophistication of society, post the Neolithic revolution with agriculture and the specialization of labor, you don't have to be the strongest physically in order to provide security, because you have the invention of currency, meaning that if you work diligently, innovatively, and creatively within a specific specialization of labor, or what we call an industry now in this manufacturing transition into the digital age that we're living in, that means that you have financial security. You get what I mean? And with financial security, that means that you could achieve a lot, and also you could protect your loved ones and also the next. You get what I mean? And also you're more attractive to women, the opposite sex, because women seek security. You see what I mean? Especially during the ancient times. Times were volatile. Times were very dangerous. You see what I mean? You had a whole bunch of males. You had a whole bunch of animals that were going against humans. Humans were newly formed. So with a lot of the pressures of the environment and a lot of the pressures of society as a whole, the man had to become strong. The man had to be designated as that, quote, alpha, end quotes, in order to survive. You see what I mean? And the man that was designated as the alpha during that time was the one that was more attractive to women. You see what I mean? And nothing has changed as far as that, but society has become more sophisticated that you don't got to be the big, strong guy physically anymore. You had to have more. You had to bring more to the table as far as security.
Okay. So Okay, so I'm glad that you brought up some of the similarities and between 250,000 years ago,
Right.
to all of those years of evolution. So, with that being said, how have things became more sophisticated? Like, what changes have been made since then? What's been going on? Is much of this still true, or what has changed, or what has become more sophisticated?
Yeah, well, we have inventions, we have innovations. You see what I mean? Thousands of years ago, we didn't have iPhones. We didn't have Uber. We didn't have Lyft. We didn't have the microwave. We didn't have televisions. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the intricate forms of architecture that we have today. And I'm not talking about the pyramids or anything like that. I'm talking about skyscrapers and things of that nature. We didn't have electricity. So we have various industries and we have various ways in which folks could monetize and generate revenue through innovation. Like for example, you could communicate. Pardon me. You could communicate with anybody in the world, and communication could transmit in 1/27th of a second. You see what I mean? We didn't have airplanes as well. We didn't have iPhones. So with a lot of these creations and a lot of these innovations, that's a way in which one is exemplifying their manhood. You see, that is the ideal of what male nature is. One that creates value and one that provides security for their loved ones or for the rest of the world right there. And the thing about it is that with the more that you innovate and the more that you achieve and the more that you create value, the more security that you provide. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So would you say in terms of manhood and masculinity, are men providing just about the same amount of security, more security, or less security over these 250,000 years of evolution?
Yeah, I would say more. I would say more because society has become more sophisticated than ever. You see what I mean? And the thing about it is this, people talk about problems and solutions, but I don't believe in that. I believe in cause and effect, meaning that if this happens, that'll happen. When that'll happen, this will happen. So for another so-called problem, there'll be another so-called solution, but then with that solution will get antiquated and played out to the point at which that solution becomes another problem, and then there's another. You see, it becomes something that is continual, that doesn't stop. And that's the science of entropy right there, meaning that with the more that time elapses, the more mess, if you will get accumulated within the atmosphere. And that gets into the science of heat, thermodynamics. But we ain't gonna get into that. We're gonna keep things light and keep things entertaining for this live. You feel me?
Okay. Yeah. So let's deal with you mentioned the alpha male a few minutes ago.
Right.
We mentioned security, alpha male, masculinity. So still rolling with the theme of security. And talking about present day, do all men provide security in the same way? You mentioned that it's more than just financial. So
right.
Talk about the other forms of security and talk about the characteristics of the men who provide those forms of security.
Okay. Hey, what up, Queen? Salute. Well, what the thing about it is this. As far as security goes, like I said, there's financial security, there's physical security, there's mental security, there's emotional security, any form of security. Security is just a means of fortification to make the person that you're securing feel comfortable around you, or anything that you provided or that you created or that you innovated. You get what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that that's all relative to the woman that you're looking to secure or to give that perception of security. That all depends on the woman and what that woman values.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the different types of men. So you got the alpha males. So are all men alpha males? Let me ask you.
Nah. Only a small percentage of men are alpha males, and then within the classification of alpha males, right? You have romantic alphas, you have business alphas, you have political alphas, and various other alphas. But for the sake of this discussion or discourse, and social alphas. You see what I mean? Meaning that you could be an alpha male in specific classifications, but that don't mean that you're all around alpha male. You You get what I mean? There are a lot of romantic alpha males, but then again, they don't have a pot to urinate in. But they're very charismatic when it comes to the seduction of females.
Okay.
Or you can have an economic or a business alpha who's very efficacious and very skillful in generating revenue and minimizing costs, but at the same time, romantically, he doesn't have it. He's not an alpha when it comes to women.
Okay. So what you're saying is, you know, a man could be alpha in the sense that, you know, he pulls a lot of women, but he can be broke at the same time. So he's
right.
alpha when it comes to the opposite sex, but he's not an alpha when it comes to finances or economics, and vice versa.
Exactly.
Okay.
Precisely.
All right. Okay. So if a man is not an alpha, what is he characterized as?
Well, you could be categorized as a beta, and betas are the majority of the world. You know, people that are followers, people that may not have the strong ambition, people that want to align themselves with the alpha in order to capitalize, but they have no aspirations mainly of themselves, or they're fearful. You know, and a great example is that with COVID-19, you get to see a lot of who are betas. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of who are betas. You know, betas, a lot of the ones, you know, they're panicking, they're scared, they're being inactive, they're being counterproductive, they're relying on unemployment and things of that nature. And for example, the person that would be designated or classified as the alpha is the one that doesn't let a virus from China stop them from achieving what they have to achieve, achieving their goals, pursuing their destiny, providing and protecting their family, paying their bills, making investments, seeking opportunities while other people see distress. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so how does all right? So you said the majority of men are betas, and you kind of described that and compared it to, you know, the COVID-19 and, you know, going out and doing what you got to do. How does the beta translate into, you know, dealing with the opposite sex? You know, as far as, you know, dealing with women, dating women, and things of that nature.
Okay. As far as betas, you know, you have a typical beta, and also within the beta classification, you have a small minority of betas who are beta male providers. But then again, hold up, let me backtrack a little bit. Every beta will be a beta male provider. You see what I mean? Because when you're providing, it doesn't mean that you're providing financial resources. You could be providing emotional support. You could be providing your time. You could be providing your availability. But at the same time, though, based on 250,000 years of evolution, like I said before, you know, females aren't wired to be attracted to betas, at least not for a long time, because they're seeking security. You see what I mean? And how you going to seek security from somebody that's insecure? Meaning that the reason why the person is providing a lot of their time is because they're insecure about what that female is doing with her time when she's not around. You see what I'm saying? Or the reason why they're providing that money is because they're trying to buy the chick's loyalty financially. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, instead of the female just being into you. But then again, according to, you know, female nature, a female loves you for what you are. A male loves a woman for who she is. It's a difference. It sounds like it's the same, but it's the difference.
Yeah, break that. Yeah, what's the difference between what you are and who you are? Yeah,
what you are is a position that you hold within the social hierarchy. You see what I mean? It's what you achieved. It's your achieved status. Who you are is your ascribed status, things that are innate, or your personality, things that are intangible. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, so that's what that is right there. You know, to make a long story short.
Okay. So you're saying that all men are pretty much just separated into alphas and betas. Is there any other groups or any other distinctions within those?
Right, they're definitely intricacies. You have alpha males, you have beta males, and you have sigma males. Sigma males are basically alpha males that don't go by the social hierarchy. They basically do their own thing. You get what I mean? They basically don't like being around too many people. They make their own way. They don't need a lot of people's validation in order to achieve what they have to achieve. So sigma is in essence an alpha that does his own thing.
Okay. So how would you identify a sigma from an alpha, or tell the difference between the two? You know, just from the outside looking in.
Yeah, the alpha really likes to be around a lot of people, and is usually like the take charge person, you know, that's the leader of the group or the head of the pack, while the sigma insecure with themselves. You see what I mean? Because the alpha, their insecurity is that they need betas in order to be alpha. A sigma doesn't need anyone to be sigma, or to be alpha in his own world.
Okay, so the sigma doesn't need the alpha or the beta. The sigma is just in the own lane.
Exactly, but if a sigma is needed to be alpha, then they could do that. Meaning that if, in trying circumstances, if the sigma has to step up to the plate and hold it down, hold the fort down, then they'll do it.
Okay, so the sigma has a little bit more versatility within.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the weakness of the alpha right there, because the alpha needs betas in order to be alpha.
Okay. Okay. What's the sigma like when it comes to dating and women?
Okay, the sigma, when it comes to dating, the sigma doesn't need the crowd. The sigma don't even need to own the crowd, or the sigma don't even need to be the head promoter of the event. The sigma could just go in any room, be himself, see who's interested in him, and approach, or see who he's interested in, and then just go approach. He could go to a place dolo or just with 1 to 2 people and just make things happen. You see what I mean? He's not worried about trying to get everyone's attention. He's like a low key kind of guy. He'll go into a venue, he'll gauge it, he'll make his presence felt, and he'll do what he has to do as far as getting desirable women.
Okay, so he's low key, but still noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Almost like that mysterious man, that man with that mystique. You know, the woman, the women are looking at him and wondering what what's going on with this man. What is this man about?
Hood brain, salute. Salute for the shout out, Hood brain. And salute to Nick Westbrook. You know what I mean? He's a very intelligent cat. You get him busy. Word up.
Oh yeah,
appreciate you.
Absolutely, yeah. The people need this. Libre mentioned earlier at the beginning of the stream, why we giving up this information, giving up this game, because it's going to be beneficial to everyone, men, women, everybody.
Exactly. We all need this understanding. We all need this. It'll make the world better, especially in a country where 50% of marriages end up as divorces anyway. And that's all races. Let's not count the black community. With a 73% illegitimacy rate, you see. But Nick got the conversation, so he could ask the questions and all that, and I just pontificate.
We just flowing. We can go in circles with this. We're not linear with our conversations, so we go wherever the energy takes us. So are alphas, betas, and sigmas all considered to be masculine? So let's talk about masculinity a little bit.
Okay. Well, this is the thing about it, right? Alphas, betas, and sigmas. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that not all males are masculine. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all females aren't feminine. You get what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that those are based on individualized experiences, individualized circumstances, and also individualized socializations. Because our personalities generally develop at the age of 6. But of course, due to family, due to religious institutions, due to school, due to friends, due to neighbors, and various other factors, media, whether we talk about television or social media, they all play a role in developing our respective personalities. So the thing about it is that no, not all alphas, not all betas, not all sigmas, have masculine traits. That's a great question right there. Even though most alphas do have masculine traits, but like I said, it gets intricate because you have a romantic alpha, you have a business alpha, you have a political alpha, you have a social alpha, just like you have a political beta, just like you have a social beta, you have a romantic beta, and economic or business beta, and the same for sigma and the various others. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on the situation.
Okay. Now let's talk about the instances in which women or a woman would prefer each type of man. So like in which instances would a woman prefer an alpha man? Like in which instances might a woman prefer to be with a beta man, and which instances in which she might prefer the sigma male?
Well, let me tell you something. All women innately want the alpha male. That's just how it goes right there. And like I said, the sigma is just the sigma is the sigma by choice. The sigma is the alpha, but chooses to be sigma. So they don't want to be bothered. You get what I mean? But all women naturally want the alpha male. They want the highest value male possible. That's how they're genetically wired, because it's for their protection and for their security, especially going back 250,000 years of evolution. Because during early times, like I said, the environment, life, animals, it was volatile, very dangerous for women. So in order for women to be protected, they had to be with the strongest man possible. And the same rules apply to this day. But these days, strength is not quantified just based on one's physical attributes. Like I said, it's mental as well. Because, like I said, security is not just physical. It's financial, it's mental, it's all sorts of things.
Okay.
It's just that it's a bit more sophisticated with a little more complexity.
Okay, I got you. But you do see instances in which women aren't they're not dating an alpha male, or they're not married to an alpha male. So why? I guess besides the point that you made earlier that the alphas make up a small percentage of of the world. What are some other reasons why a woman might be with a beta man instead of a alpha man?
Okay, that's a great question right there. The reason being is this. A woman's prime when it comes to natural beauty, because this is the thing. A guy is attracted to women, generally and mainly based on physical appearance. A woman is attracted to a guy mainly based on his status, based on his masculinity, which means protection. You see what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that a woman's prime is typically between the ages of 18 to 28 or 18 to 30 as far as physical appearance. You get what I mean? Because most guys are attracted to women based on physical appearance. And a guy's prime, and J-Lo stated this. I read the article, and J-Lo stated this. J-Lo said men are useless until 32. You see what I mean? Generally speaking. So, and the man's prime, objectively speaking, is between 35 to 50. So, because that's usually when the man, and using slang terminology, when he gets his shit together. So the thing about it is that usually when women are younger, they're usually attracted to the highest value male based on their eyes. You see what I mean? Because when they're at the highest state of the beauty, they have more abundance. They have more options. They have more of the ability to test out who's the highest value male based on what they consider to be valuable, whether it's looks, whether it's physical strength, whether it's status, or whether it's anything of that nature, money, anything of that nature. You see what I mean? So the nice guys, they usually finish last, according to that quote. And usually they date, the guy that they perceive as the alpha based on the classification of the social hierarchy when it comes to dating. And they usually marry the beta because usually in their 30s, they had so much fun and they've had so much intercourse with the various alphas in their eyes to the point of which the alphas that they want, they're on to the next thing. Either they fell off as far as the social status, or that alpha male, they found someone that was more attractive and also more desirable, or even possibly younger. So usually what they'll do is they'll go to the guys lower in the hierarchy because they're in a state of desperation, meaning that their time is up, meaning that they can't get impregnated, within the time because they're older. So they get with the person that they deemed as undesirable during their younger years, and then when they get older, they're willing to, lower their standards a bit according to their eyes. The alpha in the 20s married the beta in the 30s or 40s, depending on, the lady.
Okay. So do we find that most women follow that pattern, or are there some women that start with the beta and stick with the beta throughout?
Hold on. What did I do? I'm bad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Hello, Mike. Yeah, man. Well, this is the thing about it. It's not. This is the thing. It's male and female nature, meaning that we didn't make the rules. We did it. We just inherited it. You see what I mean? It's based on nature, meaning that it is a woman's job and it's a woman's duty based on genetic wiring to get with the highest value male possible that's going to provide security for that woman, whether it's status, whether it's looks, whether it's money, whether it's physical strength, or anything of that nature, for survival. That's how our genes survive. Because of a woman choosing the highest value man that they can. That's the reason why we exist doing this live right now. You see what I mean? Because it's women are the gatekeepers to intercourse, while men are the gatekeepers to marriage.
What
you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Gatekeepers of intercourse and the gatekeepers of marriage.
All right. For example, within a 9-month duration, a woman could generally get pregnant once, but a guy could impregnate thousands of women within that time frame. So, with that being said, the woman has to be, the woman based on her genetic wiring has to be very careful and meticulous on who they choose to have intercourse with, or who they choose to kick it with in a romantic relationship. You see what I mean? So they're trying to get the highest value person possible. You see what I mean? So women, in essence, are in scarcity when it comes to choosing the highest value male, while men, especially if they have alpha tendencies, are in abundance. You see what I mean? Because a man could impregnate as many women as possible. So I say all that to say that female nature is hypergamous, while male nature is polygamous. And like I said, nature, the animal state, nature. I'm not talking about when one is socialized, when he learns certain things based on religion, ethics, or morals, or anything like that. I'm speaking based on nature. I didn't make the rules. This is just what we were born with.
Okay. I think we got a question there in the comments. If you want to check your stream real quick.
Okay, the importance of youth. Yes, can you further expound on that?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, while he's getting that, specifying that question, we could go back to masculinity, and
okay.
Lately we've been hearing a lot of buzzwords, related to masculinity.
Right.
Two of them being toxic masculinity and hypermasculinity. So what's your understanding of toxic masculinity and hypermasculinity, and are those two the same, or are they interchangeable?
Nah, they're interchangeable terms that were created by the feminist agenda. Like this is the thing. We live in a society in which there's a lot of feminism. You see what I mean? Womanism and feminism are totally different things. Of course, we want for women to be the best that they could become, and also men are no better than women. Women are no better than men. Men and women are totally different, social creatures, and also males and females are totally different biological beings. No one is any better than the other as far as that. You see what I mean? Now, as far as the feminist movement is nothing but a bitterness and a resistance movement to so-called male domination. You see what I mean? So the thing about it is that when we talk about toxic masculinity or hypermasculinity, those are just terms in order to stigmatize, men for being who they're supposed to be, protectors, or should I say providers, well, protectors, really. You see what I mean? That provide security, whether that's physical security, mental security, financial security, through their own innovations, through their own career creations, and through their own ambitions. You see what I mean? That's like, also all it is just a derogatory term. I don't get caught up in none of that.
Okay.
Women are attracted to hypermasculinity. For survival. Hypermasculinity means wealth. It means power. It means status. It means seduction. And that's what women are attracted to based on 250,000 years of evolution. And that's what they should be attracted to. So in their defense, speaking from their perspective and thinking from their perspective.
Okay. So would you see the feminist movement as an attack on masculinity?
In essence.
Okay. All right. I think Hoodbrain clarified his question down there. See if you know what he's talking about in there.
I mean, yeah, but that gets into a generational topic right there. That gets into a generational topic, and the thing is that, and that has been going on for a long time. With the efficiency, what up, Niz? With the efficiency of society, and with the trends, with innovations, with creations, and also with responses to phenomena which happen within nature, because all changes is adapting or responding to a phenomenon that happens within nature, within the environment, or within the society. So a person which may be older may look at things from a perspective that they're used to and that they're comfortable with, which would be a conservative perspective. But a person which may be younger may look at things from a newer, innovative, or a so-called liberating or liberal perspective right there. So as far as that goes, you see what I mean? Of course, youth will always be undervalued, especially when you have a lot of folks, human nature, which is stubborn. You have folks that are arrogant or folks that think that they're omniscient a lot of the times. We all deal with that. I deal with that to this day with some older folks that I know. But I put them in their place, you see what I mean? Because I'm well-read. Meaning that I may be I'm not going to disclose my age, but I may be a certain age, but mentally, I'm 200 years old, because I've read a whole bunch of information that goes back to hundreds of thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I don't get caught up in the time. Time is an illusion anyway. Time is relative.
Okay. I actually want to jump back to something you said a few minutes ago, when you were talking about female nature and the men that they date versus the men that they marry.
Okay.
And I want to talk about women seeking men of high value. So the term, that associated with that is called hypergamy. Now,
right.
What I want you to talk about now is, I guess, what causes a woman to change or alter what she perceives to be high value, and or you can start with does that change, or does it stay the same?
It depends on the
high value.
I feel you. It depends on the individual. You see what I mean? It depends on the individual, and a lot of it comes from maturity, and a lot of it comes from realizing that the time is almost up, and a lot of it comes from competition. You see what I mean? Like a woman in their 30s or 40s. They can't compete with a lot of these bad chicks that just hit 19, 20, 21, 22. You see what I mean? Meaning that it's their time now to sleep with the highest value male possible, or to sleep with multiple highest value men. The woman that's in their 30s or 40s, you see, it's not going to be that easy for them because a lot of guys that they perceive as high value, they're getting better looking women. They're getting women that are more attractive, women with more sex appeal, because they can do it. They're high value. They have more options. You see what I mean? But a woman that's older, she can't do that anymore. So it's either she's going to respond to nature in a positive way and mature and be more honorable in her behavior, or she's just going to be in a delusion and she's going to be sexually frustrated and take that on people with the menopausal cycles and all that. So it all depends on the woman.
Okay. So as women gravitate towards the alpha male, and she is seeking some type of security from the alpha male, but I guess what causes these relationships to be short-lived, rather than the alpha man marrying the woman as a young woman.
Right. Well, this is the thing about it right here. It's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Female nature is hypergamous, right? Mm-hmm. So that means that the woman is always looking for something that, someone named Matt Cross coined as the BBD, the bigger, better deal. Meaning that if they feel that they could get someone more valuable than you, then they're going to try to get that person that's more valuable than you. They're going to try to line up your replacement. Meaning that if you're not exhibiting traits that they coin as toxic masculinity, that means that they're going to see if they can find somebody that has those traits, because women are naturally and innately wired to get with someone that is as masculine and high valued as possible. I didn't make the rules. I don't care if you disagree or agree or not. I didn't make the rules. This is just something that I inherited and something that I observed from dating multiple hundreds of women in different parts of the world. Some of the women that I've dated live 12 hours away from where I'm at. You got to take a 12-hour flight in order to get to some of these women. I didn't make these rules.
The slick talk is starting to come out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
He's getting warmed up. He's getting a little heated up now.
Facts. Yeah. I'm on my intellectual bag tonight. But I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna have fun with it.
He toss a couple jabs in there here and there. I feel you. Okay, but hold on. I don't get it, man, because I'm, whether it's social media, whether it's, just conversations with women, TV, media, whatever it is, the impression that I'm getting is that women, a lot of women are drained and they're tired of searching for, dealing with a man for a certain amount of time, and then okay, I want to look for somebody else. I hear a lot of women saying, I just want to deal with one man. So that it's not lining up with what you just told me about hypergamy. Like what's going on with that?
Yeah. You can't take social media seriously. You see what I mean? Like this is the thing. Women are more emotional creatures. You see what I mean? So the thing about it is that when you speak with emotion, that means that you're not thinking logically. You're not thinking rationally. And also you may not mean what you say during that moment because you're emotional. You're going based on your emotions instead of based on your thought patterns. You see what I mean? So as far as social media, social media is something utilized to socialize with people and also to accumulate more attention for a specific agenda for the person that has that social media account. So the thing about it is that you can't take that seriously. And the person that takes that seriously, as far as, when dating a woman is the one that's not successful with women. See what I mean?
Wow. Okay. Let me see what else we got. Just want to, I want to go too deep. Just want to give them a little bit because we're gonna come back again on a regular basis.
Yeah. We gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep doing this.
Covering the basics. Yeah, we just covering the basics tonight. So I'm just making sure is there anything else that we should cover while we're talking about this? I guess in covering the basics, we could talk about game too, because that kind of ties into what you were just talking about. So you talked about it from a woman's perspective of women being hypergamous and wanting to find a bigger, better deal, the BBD, right?
Right. The highest value man, yeah.
Yeah. So what does it look like from the man's perspective? Like what would cause, I guess, an alpha male in particular to not want to deal with one woman for a long period of time or get into an LTR, long-term relationship?
Long-term relationship, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't alpha males want to get into LTRs or deal just with one woman for an extended period of time?
Okay. Well, this is the thing. The reason why is because alpha males have multiple options. When you're a high value man, you become a chick magnet. You see what I mean? You have a lot of options. So the thing about it is when you have a lot of options, then the challenge is to tie yourself down to one. You see what I'm saying? Even though there are alpha males that do settle down because, female nature gets a bit complicated. And with the intricacies, it also with the complexities of life, it's just that, and the nuances of life, it's just that sometimes alpha male wants to settle down because female nature is complicated. Females are hot and cold. They have vicissitudes of being up and down. They have dynamics of being up and down. They're happy one minute, they're sad the other minute, they're mad the other minute, they're nervous the next minute, they have anxiety one minute, they're comfortable the next minute. And it's based on their genetic wiring. It's based on their biological wiring. And some guys, imagine dealing with 10 women with all those complexities in their personality and their emotions. That's going to take a whole lot of game. You got to be on top of your game. That's like a full-time job right there. See what I mean? That's like a full-time job right there. So the thing about it is that there are some alphas that settle down not because they can't get women, but because they just want to deal with one.
Okay.
Dealing with one is like dating 10 women. Dealing with one woman. It's you like you're dealing with 10 women and one person.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I'm assuming the same options aren't available or readily accessible to the beta male.
Right.
Numerous options.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's not as readily available to the beta male. You see what I mean? Because the beta male don't exemplify those traits that are desirable to that woman or to the multiple women. You see what I mean? Like being on your grind and making moves and providing that security. Like a lot of the time, the beta males aren't the catch. They don't have the catch to attract those women. You see what I'm saying? Women are attracted to ambition.
Okay, so are beta males more likely to get into long-term relationships?
Yeah, but out of desperation though.
out of desperation. Okay. Not so much out of choice.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Mainly out of desperation. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, I did mention games. So this is kind of like a segue, a transition into this whole concept of game. So what is, quote unquote game? You mentioned that in order for an alpha male to be dealing with multiple women at a time, like such as like 10 women at a time, he has to have really, spectacular and tight game. So what do you mean by game?
Strategies to seduce a woman. That's what game is. That's what game is. See what I mean?
That. Okay.
But then again, if you're a true alpha, it won't have to be strategies. It'll be a part of your lifestyle. It'll just be who you are. So it'll just be cultural expressions to female nature and how to seduce female nature in order to enjoy the benefits, if that makes sense.
Okay. And in what circumstances is game used or applied? So we have this, the one instance we were just talking about with an alpha male who may be dealing with multiple women in his dating circle. But are there any other instances in which game would be applicable?
You mean in dating?
Yeah, dating.
Yeah, can you rephrase that question? My apology.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. So we were just talking about how in order for a man to successfully, deal with multiple women, an alpha male to deal with multiple women, he has to have tight game. So so the question is, does game only apply in that instance in which a man is an alpha male is dating multiple women, or can it apply in other contexts?
Can you give me an example? I thought.
All right, so I think I heard you mention in a previous bill, maybe from last year, that game applies in the instance we were just talking about with a man dealing with multiple women, but game also applies in marriage too. So how might game, apply in other contexts besides just
it never stops. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, game never stops. Game never stops. Like I said, when you're dealing with male and female nature, you see, the thing about it is that game never stops. Meaning that you have to be on top of your game. It's like for example, when you're playing basketball or playing one-on-one game, like it may be a blowout, you may get very comfortable and all that, but after a while, that opponent may come back. You see what I mean? So the thing is that now you got to be on top of your game, and game still applies to marriage. You still got to keep that masculine frame. You still got to be smooth. You got to be seductive, because that's what keeps the relationship live. Because if not, if it's just the same routine, then the woman's going to get bored. Men, we're very linear. We could just do the same routine every day, relax, go to work, grind, come home, eat, have sex. That's it. A woman likes adventure. They like unpredictability. They like mystery. So the thing about it is that all comes about with game, being creative to attract your woman or to keep your woman. You see what I mean? So game still applies to marriage, long-term relationships, and all that. The game never ends, because women will just continue to test you. If they notice that you're compromising your masculinity in some way, shape, or form in their eyes, like whether it's being goofy or whether you have a higher pitch in your voice or anything like that, they're going to test you. Because women get more guys attracted to them than guys get women attracted to them, unless you're an A-list celebrity or something like that, or some big billionaire. Mm-hmm. So that a woman is always testing your masculinity, and it's up to you in order to pass those tests, and that's a part of the game right there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think I pretty much got through the. Well, check your clock. We want to make sure we don't get cut off like we did last time.
Yeah, how do I do that? How do I check the clock?
Should be. Yeah, I can't see it from mine because you started it.
We should be all right, though. I don't know. I had to check the clock. Yeah, we should be good, but I think they'll let it. Yeah, because I got the notification last time, but I ignored it because I didn't know what they were talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got the notification. Okay, all right, cool.
So when the notification go on, we can just wrap it up. You feel me?
Okay, all right. Yeah, because like I said, you know, I want to pretty much just stay with the basics and not give it too much, you know, because you dropping a lot of information, you know.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, so let me see.
Without. Peace and blessings, God. Yeah, man. You know, for those who are tuning in, you know, we're talking about male and female nature. You see what I mean? And how it's misunderstood.
Yeah,
and we're bringing clarification to it all because a lot of these so-called journalists, a lot of these so-called bloggers, and a lot of these folks on social media, they're feeding y'all with poison. They don't know what female nature is, and they don't know what male nature is. And once we bring clarification to that, their relationships will be much better, whether it's romantic relationships, whether it's platonic relationships, or any kind of relationships dealing with the opposite sex. You get what I mean? Males and females are both great and honorable creatures. You see what I mean? But it's just that they're misunderstood by one another. And the thing about it is that once we have more understanding of one another as far as knowledge of self and knowledge of the opposite sex, then I think that we can have more sustainable relationships, whether it's long-term relationships, friendships, or any kind of relationships. Salute. Many blessings to you. Peace and love to you as well.
Yeah. Salute. Yeah. So for anybody that just jumped in, we've been going for a minute. So make sure you know after this is done, make sure you go back and watch from the beginning. You know, get caught up. You know. Libre dropped a lot of powerful information, a lot of jewels, you know, so you want to make sure you get up on that. Yeah. Any questions, you know, while I'm running through my notes, any questions?
Any questions about why guys do the things they do or why females do the things that they do? Any questions? Anything. Ask anything. It's all love. It's all love. What about Nick? You got anything else?
Like I said, I got some other things, but I want to say that I don't want to give them everything, you know, now, you know, because this. So you could kind of think of this as like a course. So today was like the introduction, you know. So we went over some of the basics, some of the overarching themes, and then as we go through each week or however frequently we decide to do this, you know, we'll talk about, you know, specific topics, you know, such as finances, you know, such as polygamy, you know, such as emotions, you know, such as the impact of you know, contemporary history with you know, social welfare programs and how they impact male and female nature. You know, we'll be talking about, you know, current events. Actually, I got one to bring up. You know, we'll be covering specific topics, you know, in each live, you know, just to make it digestible, you know.
Yeah, so, man, it's going to be very educational, very entertaining, very fun. You know, it's going to be great. Oh yeah, we got a minute and 57 seconds left on this live.
Okay, all right. So yeah. So I guess we can go ahead and start wrapping it up. You know, so you can end it and not get, you know, cut off, so you can actually save it. You know, we don't want to lose this one. You feel me?
Yeah. We're gonna keep this. I'm gonna put this up in a minute. I'm gonna put this up ASAP. As a matter of fact. Word up. Many blessings. I appreciate everyone that joined us live. I appreciate everyone, man. You all are honorable. May you all be safe. May you all be blessed. May you all keep productive and be the best you that you could become. Not what anybody else thinks. Be the best you that you could become. As long as you're creating value for yourself and treating others with respect. That's all that I ask.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's watching the recording too. You know, thank you for going back and replaying this. You know, the same goes for you. You know, join us again.
Word up. Yeah, but that's all I had to say. So peace and love and Shem Hotep, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.